I'm glad to be invited here to give you a presentation about the relation between the healthcare inspectorate and the things you are involved with. As has been told, I'm a Chief Inspector for Patient Safety, and also I have a relation with Health IT. I will tell you something about the Dutch Healthcare Inspectorate and the relation with the topics you are discussing these 2 days, and mainly because there's a very big relation with patient safety. I'll tell you more about that. How should we use these novel techniques in education in healthcare? And what are the requirements for a successful embedding of that? The Healthcare Inspectorate, as has been told, is, often in the news. This morning, this is a quote from a website about a report we published yesterday. And it's all about communication. We reported yesterday a report about the miscommunication and the lack of information exchange between doctors, nurses, departments, institutions, and so on. And what we want that will happen is that there will be more standardization in information exchange, not only electronically, but also in normal life, I should say. We all think that ICT is a solution for solving these problems, but what we discovered was that the normal information exchange is not okay. And if you are digitalizing that, you are digitalizing something which is wrong. So ICT won't help, no. It can be harming the patient when your information exchange is not okay. It's in a few papers in the headlines this morning, and in the train I tried to copy something, and I only could find and organized this. But so the Healthcare Inspectorate, well, we are having a formal position. I'm a civil servant, and we are only acting according what's in law. But our aim is, and I'm a doctor, I'm helping people. I want to secure public values, and I want that sick organizations, sick doctors are doing their best and must work. It's all because of the client, the citizen is our client. And well, we are not a part of the solution in every case, but mainly we try to be so. So we're not the police officer only writing fines. No, we try to think with people and help them. So everyone wants a safe care. Mistakes are happening, but not it's all by accident and by incidents. What we want is a affordable and accessible and safe and good quality in healthcare. We think we should focus on that, safety and quality. And I tell you this because where you're dealing with is all about safety and quality. I think it's very good to do so. And a focus on quality and safety means also a focus on education in healthcare. There is a lot of attention to patient safety, but I'm sad to see that safety in education is still not so often addressed. Mr. Alberti, a French psychologist, he published this overview about safety in our world, in how we can address safety. And as you can see in this figure, we can discover a lot of very safe industries. For example, nuclear industry and the airliners. They're very safe. Only in 1 million of the cases there is something wrong. If you see in mountaineering, that's very unsafe. In every one of 100 cases there is an accident. Here you can find the medical risks in total. So health is very unsafe. There are parts of health where very unsafe, for example, cardiac surgery, like micro-light aircraft. But there are also safe parts in healthcare, the anesthesiology. And I'll come back on this figure to show you what serious gaming and simulation techniques can help in this problem. Patient safety has all to do with how do we manage incidents. And James Reason, a British psychologist, showed us how difficult it is to see where the cause of an incident is related to. We know that an incident is always pointed to one person. He made a fault. He made a mistake. He caused the accident. Well, that's not true. There are a lot of factors which are related to an incident. For example, the organizational structure and the culture in an organization. There are factors who can influence the practice so that errors and violations can occur. For example, lack of personnel means that a nurse, for example, cannot check their work very well, and they can easily make errors, or she has to violate some procedures, otherwise she can't do her work well. And some people do wrong things, and we have to correct it. There are barriers to defend it. So you can see there are a lot of factors who can involve occurring incidents, and there are a lot of incidents in healthcare. In the Netherlands, we did research, and we discovered that at least 2,000 people every year die for preventable reasons in hospitals. So we have to do a lot to make healthcare much safer. This is also a figure by James Reason, and he showed that an incident is not happening so easy. There are so many barriers that can prevent occurring an incident, and I think serious gaming is in one of these slides, and where you are executing these games, you can prevent the incident occur. We learned a lot of patient safety from the airline industry, and the airline industry had a very severe accident to learn and to see what was wrong in the airline industry and had to improve. And that was the Tenerife disaster, where a Pan Am and a KLM crashed on the airfield. It's still the biggest crash in the world, with more than 500 deaths. And after that, KLM learned a lot, and airlines became much safer. And I want to show you 4 elements which are very important for that. One of them, I learned this from a retired chief on a Boeing pilot. He learned me that one of the major problems was that there were no procedures. Well, they introduced the standard operating procedures, and that made the airline industry much safer. And we have a very good example in healthcare in this city developed. In the Academic Medical Center in Amsterdam, they developed the SURPASS checklist. It is a procedure for the operative process from the admission of the patient till it is discharged from the hospital, and it describes what you have to do, it describes what you may not do, and it has all check moments, stop moments. You may not continue when you are not allowed to. And they proved, it was published in one of the most important magazines, they proved that mortality related to the operation was 50% less than before, and complication 30%. So you can gain a lot of safety with introducing standard operating procedures. And I can recommend the SURPASS method to you. Another very important thing is simulation training. Now, I don't have to tell you what that is, but that's in aircraft. The aircraft industry was the first industry which introduced these simulation techniques, and how many years it took to introduce it in healthcare. It's amazing. And still we have a lot of doctors who are not trained in simulation situations. Well, it gives you so much information and so many skills extras. And also element which made the airline industry much safer was team training. That's not common in healthcare. Team training. Doctors are individuals. Doctors are working in their own room, not working together. While that's not true. They have their assistants. They have colleagues which they have to combine with. It's very important that doctors are learned to work in teams. And we have also a very good example at the eye hospital in Rotterdam. They train their operation teams in the KLM simulators with the surgeon at the second chair in the cockpit and the nurse at the captain chair. So how can you learn to work in a team? Another very important thing is skills and knowledge. In aircraft, it's normal that you have to check it every half year. In healthcare, well, when you did your exam and you finished, it's okay. We have to learn about that. Doctors are also forgetting what they learned, and they have to prove that they still have their skills. So we have to learn a lot about it. So I resume 3 topics which has a relation with what you're doing here these 2 days. I think it's all about education and training. Simulator training, team training, skills and knowledge assessment. I think it's very important to do that with the techniques you are working with. Beside the simulation techniques and the serious game, social media is, in my opinion, also a new novel technique which you can use to improve patient safety. And I think the next speaker will show you more about that. Another novel technique is the IHI Open School. I think it's a very, very good initiative from the Institute of Healthcare Improvement from the US, which is a virtual school on the internet for students who are involved and who are engaged by the patient safety movement and want to make the healthcare much safer as it is now. Again, to the figure of René Almoberti. He showed in the top more about the characters related to mountaineering and to nuclear industry. And what you can see, medical is in this part. It's a lot about craftsman's attitude. It's a lot about autonomy of the actors. The doctor is a soloist. He works for his own. And that's why there are also many risks. And in nuclear industry, well, there's no soloist working over there. It's not about handcraft or craftsmans. It's about how do you manage risks. And I think you can improve these things by the techniques you introduce over here. But the most important thing, and I think we didn't address it yet, that is culture. There must be a very safe culture to have a good success in achieving patient safety. I don't know if you can see this, but we show mostly the culture in an organization through a ladder. And what we know about healthcare and other industries, that is that we are very reactive in safety. well, only when something wrong happens, we are acting. And in the past, we even did. You turned on and you go on with your work. We still have a situation where we only react on things that go wrong. But what we need is a generative society or industry where you are only dealing with risks and where safety is in the veins of every part of the organization. Everyone must be involved in safety. Like Shell says on his plans, you work here safely or you don't work here. That should be the quote which every hospital should put on his front door. Safety is not so easy. It's influenced by so many factors, and we combine it in the term human factors to show that there is an interaction between individuals and the facilities and the equipment and the management systems to be a safe organization. And you have to address that. It's a combination of all these things, and very important in this is the leadership and the management commitment to be in a safe organization. When something went wrong and management is putting it away under the table, no one wants to work safe there. When management shows that when something went wrong, it's a problem for the organization and you have to solve it, people can feel safe and work in a safer organization. So my conclusions are novel educational techniques are successful when they are embedded in a safe culture. Just to have a serious game is not enough. You have to have it in a safe organization where leaders shows that these serious games are very useful to use them. When there is there of professionals to show that it's necessary to do a game to learn and to be better. It's good to work in teams to improve this safety. It has to be a part of the contribution of a safer care. And I think also the use of these techniques, simulation, serious game, has to be introduced after a risk analysis. Risk management in healthcare must be improved very, very much, and it isn't now. But I think when a good serious game is that all these topics get kettled. When there is leadership in executing the game, when there is team working introduced in the game, and so on, and so on, and so on. So a serious game addresses all the topics which has to deal with patient safety. And in my opinion, there's a very big future for serious gaming in improving patient safety, but when it's embedded in a safe culture and a safe organization. Well, I'm an inspector, so I want to stop after my relation to this topic. We advise about these topics, and there are a lot of questions. May we do this? May we introduce that? Yes, of course. We want to stimulate it, and we want that it is mandatory. And we have one scientific organization in the Netherlands, the anesthesiologists. They made it mandatory for re-registration after 5 years to do a simulation training in an operation theater. And I think it's very good when scientific organizations makes it mandatory, then it's for us possible to supervise that and to keep people on that. And that's what I want to tell you. Thank you very much.